I think that there are more important issues on this team, namely offensive line, secondary, but I'm going to bring up the running back room because I think they're going to be just fine at the running back room. But I have no idea who's going to play. Obviously, I have an idea, but I just think it's going to be fascinating because we saw Chip Tranum play against Michigan. We saw the week before Dallin Hayden be the main guy against Maryland, and if he didn't come through like he did, maybe they don't even beat the Terps on the road. But the two guys are supposed to be Travion Henderson, of course, who was so good the season before, and he gets hurt, and Mayan Williams gets hurt, and then he gets hurt going into the Michigan game. So we never had those guys. Certainly didn't have them at the same time, and rarely at anything close to 100%. And then we've got we've got Evan Pryor, who nobody talks about at this point. He's been the forgotten man, and he was a top 5 running back coming out of high school. So I am going to be fascinated to see how these running backs are used, because while Michigan brags about the top 2 running backs in the conference and all of that, and I get it, this is the deepest and most talented running back room maybe in the country.
Don't say that too loud.
Don't say that too loud, because I said that exact thing on Twitter, and I had the whole Michigan mob after me. So
they don't understand volume. They don't understand numbers. They hear something and they go crazy.
Yeah, hold on, Ron. Let me jump in here first. Mark, are you sure you're not on the show with us every Sunday? Because you're striking all the chords that we argue about and debate. But I'm gonna get cooked in a second, so let me get my take out here early because these guys have a different opinion. So for me, looking at this running back room, I've said it all off season. There is one guy who you can look at and say, hey, next NFL draft, he can be a first round pick. That's Travion Henderson when healthy. When he is playing and at his best, which I will agree, it hasn't been consistent. He's been hurt. He's been, all over the place. We haven't seen it consistent. But if he can be what he can be, he's the guy. He's the first round pick. He's the guy who can go win a Heisman. I think with these other guys, Mayan, we've kind of seen him cap out, really good back, probably not a first round pick. Evan Pryor, we don't know yet because he's hurt. Chip Trainum came here from Arizona State to play linebacker. I mean, I don't know if you're up to date with the recent position switches for Ohio State, but they haven't really gone well. So I think Dallin is coming up. We'll give him a credit. He played well last season, but what we've seen from Travion Henderson, we haven't seen from anybody else. He does not take coaching the best, which he needs to do this offseason. But if you're asking me who needs to be the guy, who needs to be the workhorse, is Travion Henderson.
I'm going to jump in after Q before the crazy talk starts, because we are in agreement on who the best back on this team is and who should see the most carries. And I think that's Travion Henderson. He's the number 1 back in his class for a reason. He looked amazing his freshman year. Did he have some vision issues? Yes, but I mean, he was still overall productive and adds that home run playability. But our guys on the podcast with us, they disagree on who the best back is in that room. So I'll let them take it away from here.
Listen, I'm going to tell you like this, Mark. I'm going to tell you to you straight. The best running back in that room is Dallin Hayden, and he is the guy. The type of patience that he showed against Maryland, even Georgia, go watch the Georgia game, to be able to have the patience to set up his blocks, to have that burst, to have that balance and get those tough yards. I don't really see that from Travion Henderson. I know Travion gives us the home run ability, but I feel like the play has to really be there and be schemed for Trey to be as effective as Dallin. I like Chip. I like Chip Smart. I like that speed and power combination that he has. I'm not downplaying Mayan. I'm not downplaying Trey at all. I just think with especially with the way our line is set up, I think that with Donovan Jackson being the feature guy at guard, that zone run scheme is going to do numbers for us, kind of like what we ran with J.K. Dobbins. But Travion, that's not really his game. So I don't know. I think that the Dallin Hayden for what I foresee this offense being this year, kind of more similar to the Justin Fields style when we have a more run-focused offense, more focused on RPO, play action, that Dallin Hayden would be more effective.
I think all the running backs, they bring something different and something, tremendous to the offense, right? The biggest issue is, can Travion Henderson get his vision, right? But I think the person who we should see the most of, I think the person who should start off the games is Mayan Williams. Look at what he was able to do in the Notre Dame game, leading us to victory. He's consistent. You need vision, he has it. You need power, he has it. If the O-line messes up and he's tackled at the line of scrimmage, he can get you 3-5 yards, especially going into this season, going into Indiana and then going into Notre Dame, until this O-line gets that chemistry and builds up. I think that you can count on Mayan Williams. I think, no, he's not the fastest, but I think that he's always been consistent in what he gives you. He doesn't have the home run ability, but when he's able to wear down on those defensive guys, and then you bring a Dallin in, a Trey in, a Chip, I just think it will just hurt the defense even more.